Math Time with Miss Hartzell, Module 7, Lesson 17. I can estimate measurements by applying prior knowledge of length and using mental benchmarks.
It's me again, friends. So we have been doing a really great job learning about inches, feet, and yards. But sometimes in our brains, all of those different words can get a little confusing. So today we are going to create a chart so that we can list mental benchmarks. This work will help our brains focus on everyday objects that are connected or are the same space as an inch, a foot, and yards. So that way, if somebody says something to us like, wow, Miss Hartzell, she's 6 feet tall, our brains can quickly think about how much space a foot takes up, and if there are 6 of them, what that would look like. Because if in our brains we think that feet are inches, then I don't think that I am just 6 of these little tiles tall. That would make me probably the smallest person on earth. So mental benchmarks can help our brains focus and remember exactly how much space each of these customary units of length take up. So pause and think and remember what you already have learned about those customary units of length. And then we'll continue to work on our skills and improve them every day. See you in the next segment.
Over the last few days, we've been learning a lot about the customary units of length. So pause and think about what you already know about the customary units of length. Use this picture to help your mind remember what you already know about this type of measurement. When you're finished thinking, press play. Okay, so let's just quickly review the mental benchmarks that we've been using for the 3 customary units of length that we've been learning about. So remember that we've been using the diameter of a quarter to represent how much space an inch takes up. We are using the length of a piece of paper to understand how much space a foot takes up. And we are using the width of a door to understand how much space a yard takes up. So yesterday you did a lot of critical thinking and made decisions about which of these measurements would be the best for measuring a variety of objects. So let's talk a little bit more about the math behind these different units. So although that these units take up different amounts of space, inches, feet, and yards rely on each other. That means that they are connected. I cannot construct or make a yard without feet or inches. I can use this information about an inch to create a foot and also to create a yard. Because these units of length are connected. We use them to construct other forms of units. So let's talk about those numbers. So 1 inch equals 1 inch. Okay, there's nothing else that an inch equals except for itself. And remember, we've been using the diameter of a quarter to understand this space. So obviously not the quarter that's on your screen, but a real life quarter that you can touch in real life. In order to make a foot, we need 12 quarters lined up to equal 1 foot. And that's about the length of a piece of paper. In order to make a yard, we need 36 inches or 36 quarters lined up in a row to create how much space 1 yard takes up. And 36 inches also equals 3 feet. So I can also take 3 pieces of paper and line them up using their length. And those 3 pieces of paper lined up would equal 1 yard. So today you're going to do some more practice again in looking at an object that's given to you and thinking about that object and how much space that object takes up. And you'll determine, again, whether inches, feet, or yards are the best unit to use for measuring that object. There will also be some questions about these conversions. For example, how many inches are in 1 yard? 36. This is really important information to remember because as you get older and you solve problems in the real world or in math class, you will really need to know these conversions, and it would really help if you could memorize them. But since we're still learning, we'll use a conversion chart to help us remember. So use your critical thinking and use the information that you've been learning about these different units of length to answer your questions on your daily practice and on your exit ticket. And don't worry about miles. Miles are another unit of length that we use in the United States. But in 2nd grade, it is not required for you to understand a mile yet. But just because it's good to have knowledge and understanding, miles are a unit of length that take up a lot of space, like the space of a city. That's how we measure where we are from one point in our city to another point that is much farther than an inch, a foot, or a yard. I would use miles to determine how far away my house is to Discovery Charter School. I would not use yards and I would not use feet or inches because those units of length are smaller than a mile. A mile better represents long distances. But again, don't worry too much about miles. I do have that in this picture, but it's only just for your knowledge. Your task is to focus on inches, feet, and yards. Those are the units of length that I want you to get really good at understanding and really good at determining how many inches or feet are in 1 yard or more than 1 yard. Because as we know, not everything equals 1 yard perfectly. We might need 2 or 3 yards. So then, how many feet or inches would you need? That's what I want you to think about today. Use this conversion chart to help guide your thinking, or just use your brains. So do your best today on your daily practice and your exit ticket. Remember to use the attached helpful hints to help you get your work done today. I'll see you tomorrow for math.